Hi everyone. So this is Professor J.K. Naik. I'm continuing this course, Marketing Research and Analysis, which we had done several years back, in which the major focus was on quantitative data analysis. So there we learnt what is marketing research and what are the different techniques used in marketing research to analyze the data, to clean the data, to infer from the data, right? So for any researcher, that has been a very useful course. But now, with the onset of technology and social media and the data in the social media, I found one important area that needs to be added to this course is text analysis. Now, if you look at the data that is available on the social media, for example, your blogs, customer reviews on the social media platforms, for example, like Amazon or Twitter or anything like Twitter threads, Facebook, contents. Now, all this data is around us and it makes so much of sense because if you look at the data, now this data is is priceless. Why? Just because it is everywhere around you and this is a very honest data. I mean to say, this data is not fabricated, largely it is very honest. So, if you can just imagine, if you can collect this data and analyze this data, then from a business point of view, I can say that at least it will give you very good insights, very important insights about the product, about the market, its trends, the customers' behavior and everything, right? So, I thought in this, I'll add 4 weeks of extra, 4 weeks to this course and make it from a 8-week to 12-week course. And here I'll explain about text analysis, how you should conduct text analysis. In this, we will see how to collect the data, right? Because as I said, data is everywhere around us. But how do we collect this data? For somebody says, there is a newspaper cutting, or online newspaper portion, which can that be used? Yes, that can also be used. A Twitter data, can that be used? Yes, that can also be used. For example, social media, customer reviews that we see on Amazon or Flipkart or Snapdeal or anything, can that be used? Yes, that can be also used. Interviews of people, can that be used? Yes, that can also be used. So, what I am saying is everywhere we are surrounded by data and this data is sometimes, I would say, even more useful. It can be more useful than even the quantitative data that we have learned earlier, because there can be some challenges with the quantitative data in the way you collect the data and then you clean the data and analyze the data. But both have their own importance. So, that is why I thought it is necessary for me to add this text analysis so that students and researchers can use it and even management people can use it for their benefit. Okay. So, let us see this. I wanted to start like this. So, this wireless headphone is amazing. So, there is a customer review of 5 and the battery lasts all day and the sound quality is crystal clear, right? Definitely worth the price. So, this is a verified buyer who is giving 5 reviews, 5-star. And similarly, another example, best pizza in town. The crust was crispy and the cheese was perfectly melted. Fast delivery too. Now, this is somebody called Rohan, he is saying this. Now, the question is, when we are having such kind of data and such kind of millions of data we have, right? How do we analyze this? How do we use it for our research? See, the most important thing to understand is that research is to learn something, to extract some information from some data, right? The data could be a text data, could be a quantitative data. But our job is to analyze, understand, analyze and infer, right, from the data. So, all these lines that you are reading here are nothing but data given to you. Now, how do I use such data? So, the data can be in blogs, as I said, can be interviews, can be some research papers. It could be anything that can be in form of data. And it is, as I said, we are surrounded, we are flooded with such kind of data across in the social media platforms. So, that is the most important thing that we are going to discuss. So, in this I will take you through. In the first week, we will get into several things like the introduction to the text analysis, what are the key technologies, right, being used, what are the sources of data, what are the basic applications of text analysis in business, right, because our focus is business, scope of text analysis, importance of text analysis in business, then text analysis process. We will talk about what is the process, how do you move ahead, right. Then I'll give you an overview of the text analysis techniques, go through some case studies, live case studies, some real time case studies. Then tools and technologies for the text analysis, text data collection, because you see text data collection is a very important thing, as I had earlier said, because you are flooded with data and there is a lot of noise, errors in the data also. So how do you collect this data and how do you clean this data? So all these things we would like to cover in the week 1, right? So let's start the course. So let's start with a very basic definition. So when I say text analysis, so how do we define this? Now, text analysis is the process of using computational and statistical techniques to extract meaningful information, patterns, and insights from the text data. So, text data you are surrounded with text data, as I said, everywhere there is text data. So, which is not numeric in nature, right? So, this data, how do I extract meaningful information from it? What patterns I can generate from this by, let us say, reading the reviews of people. If I start reading, I may read 30, 40 reviews, 50 reviews, even maximum 100 reviews, and understanding it might give me some insights. But what if I can use millions of reviews at the same time? So, for this I need some computational skill, right? And it involves analyzing written or spoken language to interpret and categorize its content, structure, or sentiment. Now, you must have heard about sentiment analysis. Now, positive sentiments, negative sentiments, neutral. So, what are the sentiments? So, by looking at, let's say, 5,000 reviews, can I make some sentiment analysis? Can I understand the sentiments of the customers regarding particular features of the product or the aesthetics of the product, the design of the product? So, text analysis is widely used, as I said, in various fields such as linguistics, management, marketing, social media analysis, and natural language processing. So, as you can see here in this diagram, so raw text data comes in through the funnel, and then first we go for text pre-processing, then pattern recognition, sentiment analysis, and then insight extraction. And with that we get some meaningful insights, which is nothing but information, and this information is extremely useful for any business house or any manager to understand the behavior of the customer and then move forward. Okay. So, when I say what is text analysis, 4 things we have to remember. So, text analysis uses computer systems to read and comprehend human written text, extracting valuable business insights. So, first is computer driven understanding. So we use computer systems to read and comprehend the human behavior, human written text. Now, so if I, as I said, if I do that, how many will I do at one go? Maybe 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100, but not besides that, not beyond that, right? Here using computer becomes the most important things. If the computer we can train the computer, then the computer will be, because it's a machine, it can do millions of exercises in no time, right? The next is automated processing. It independently classifies, sorts, and extracts information from text to identify the pattern, relationship, and sentiments, right? So here we are saying that automatically it will classify. So classification techniques you must have done in quantitative, we have done that in cluster analysis and all, right? So it classifies, sorts the data, and extracts meaningful information, right? The third thing in text analysis is to diverse source handling, right? It efficiently processes multiple text based sources, like you have emails, documents are, for example, your research papers, social media content, and product reviews. So as you see, as you saw in the first slide, so all these different diverse source handlings can be done easily with the help of text analysis. The fourth thing is, most important thing is, human like interpretation, right? So text analysis aims to analyze text with accuracy comparable to the human interpretation, right? But at a much larger scale and even much higher speed also and accuracy. So we believe that if we can train the computer, the system in such a manner that it will understand like humans, so what happens is, because it is a machine and it has been trained, so the machine can read much faster and can analyze huge amounts of data in a very short period of time. So that is the biggest gain. As you can see this picture here, right? So when the raw text data is coming, so see here I have said raw text data, but we have to understand that the raw text data alone cannot work, because you have to clean it, right? So what it says, text comprehension, So, you have to comprehend the text, then extract the information, create patterns or identify the patterns, and then make a sentiment analysis, which is again all this will be very useful for the business houses. The most important thing is classification. So, understanding that which group it goes to or which category it goes to is one thing. Similarly, understanding what are the sentiments of people. For example, let us say there is a product, right. Now, this product, for example, now this monitor or something. Now, this monitor is very good, people say fine, it is a nice monitor in comparison to the competitors, other companies, this is one of the best, but they say that using this or initiating or starting this machine, or if the machine, let us say, has some problem, then it gives a real challenge, right. Finding a service or some maintenance is a very big challenge. Now, such kind of information you cannot do it through a quantitative analysis. You can't, you might not, you might miss out in a through a structured questionnaire or something. But here, because people have written their problems, so if the machine can read these problems and understand and identify them, then automatically such kind of patterns and such kind of inferences can easily come out and very clearly come out that all the things in this product is good, but the maintenance is the problem which people feel is now, because of this problem they are not ready to, or they are not willing to purchase the product. So, if the correction can be made on the maintenance side, then automatically people will go for buying the product. So, text analysis gives you such kind of important insights. So, I say this is a real diamond, right. So, you are having such kind of information which can be very useful, right. Now, what are the key techniques? As I said, now text pre-processing. So, cleaning and preparing the text data by removing irrelevant elements, right. For example, when you collect the data from the social media, the data can have lots of irrelevant things in it. For example, punctuation, stop words, special characters which we do not want to use, which have no value for us, right. Now, how do you clean? So, because as you must have done also when you have done a questionnaire or something, when you have collected the data or you have taken collected data from, let us say, social media, there are lots of unnecessary elements. So, it is very crowded and very noisy. You do not like to see that, right. So, you want the cleaned data. So, once the data is clean, then only you can do something with it. Once you clean and prepare the text data, second thing is tokenization. So, breaking the text into words or sentences, okay. Now, which will give you better, clearer meaning, right. The third is lemmatization and stemming. What it says? Now, this means reducing the words to their base or root form. Now, why it is done? Now, when you reduce the words to their base or root form, what you will find is unnecessary extensions are removed, right. So, the root form is basically more standardized in comparison to the word. So, that is why this reduction is very important. The second thing after text processing is sentiment analysis. Now, determining the emotions, the tone or attitude expressed in a piece of text like positive, negative or neutral is very important. Now, if I know that suppose Zomato comes to know or Swiggy comes to know, or let us say, okay, forget it, let us say Domino's, Pizza Hut comes to know that people love their pizza, but they are not happy with the service, right, the kind of delivery, the service or the price or something. Now, that can very clearly come out, so their sentiments can be easily seen. So, understanding their sentiments, maybe the company can tomorrow reduce the price by reducing the portion or the size of the pizza also. So, those kind of strategies can be developed once we understand the sentiments behind it. Okay. The third thing is topic modeling. Now, what is topic modeling? It says identifying and categorizing themes or topics within a set of documents using methods like LDA. Okay. So, what it says? Identifying and categorizing themes. See, for example, in a newspaper article, there are several different themes. For example, business themes, sports themes, it could be political themes. Now, they might be messed up, right. So, your job is to create different topics and categorize them into different topics. So, that is what we we tell as topic modeling, right. The fourth one is text classifications. So, assigning predefined categories or labels to the text data is what we call as text classification, right. So, spam detection, for example, in emails, if you can understand, if you can classify them that this is spam and this is not spam, it makes your life easier, right? So, how does the machine identify that some of these mails are spam? So, there must be something behind it, right? Some logic. So, they must have been trained to understand that this is a spam and this is not a spam. So, you see, every day I get, let us say, 25 mails, right, or for 30 mails, out of which I see sometimes that there are 5 6 mails which are, it is written there over in my, and you must also have seen in your mails that it is written spam. So, how did the machine identify that it is a spam? So, that is what we, it is one of the uses of text analysis, right. So, text analysis makes a lot of, utility for those, users. Another important area is named entity recognition. Now, identifying and extracting specific entities such as name, date, location or organizations from the text is something which is a key technique. So, the next is keyword extraction. So, as I said, extracting the most relevant or frequently used term to summarize the text's main content. Now, this helps us to identify, for example, in research papers, you must have seen that at the below the abstract we give 5 6 research, keywords. Now, why is this keyword given? So that you can easily understand that this research paper XYZ belongs to which category of research, right. For example, is it a social science research? Is in social science, for example, is it something like retail oriented research, or is it, for example, let us say linguistic oriented research? Is it computer social media related research? So, what kind of research is it, right? The seventh point is text summarization. So, creating concise, summaries from longer documents while retaining the key information. It is like a gist or a highlight, right. So, summarizing the data is very important because you might have, for example, the British library or the libraries might have millions of books with lots of text. Now, if we do not know how to summarize, then we will not be able to read them so much and will not make any meaningful information out of it, right. Language detection is also important. So, identifying the language in which the text is written. So, which language has been that the text has been written is also important. And then clustering and similarity analysis, grouping similar text documents or comparing their content to find relation. If you see largely, as you can see in this picture also, right. So, text data processing is linked to several things: language detection, text summarization, text pre-processing, sentiment analysis, topic modeling, keyword extraction, name entity recognition, text classification, clustering and similarity analysis. So, all these things, if you take some time and look at it very peacefully, you will realize that text analysis really gives you lot of key information which you might not have found in the quantitative analysis. So, that is why it is very essential for young researchers and even managers to learn about text analysis and understand it better. Okay. The question is, what are the sources of text data in marketing or management? What are the major sources? Now, as I have already said, the major sources are customer reviews and feedback. For example, in online platforms like Amazon, right, or Google reviews. So, you find lots of these reviews, right. Now, these reviews are, as I said, they are important informations, right, important data, right. So, this data can be used, can be analyzed and interpreted, right. Similarly, direct feedback through surveys or forms. So, you have, let us say, you have asked people about their opinion on the political condition, or let us say the cold war between China and USA. How is it going to impact the Indian trade, right, India's trading, so, or international business. So, in that case, such kind of feedbacks you do not have any way of analyzing. So, you need to understand that such kind of texts can be, if they can be analyzed, because they are not numbers, right, they are texts. So, if this text can be analyzed, then we can get very important informations. Okay. The second source of text data is social media platforms. So, social media platforms are like, for example, your Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, right. So, there are lots of posts, tweets and comments, right. So, people make hashtags, they write something about the some specific issue, for example, something happened in Iran, or let us say people are talking about cleaning the Ganga or whatever it is, right. So, there are lots of posts. So, these posts, can I also use this post as my source of data? Now, yes, okay. The next is email communication. Now we communicate, we always do some communication, right? So customers, as a company, for example, you talk to your customers. So there is an email communication between the company and the customers, right? So there are customers queries, there are support emails and feedback. So the customer, whether he was at the end, was he happy, not happy, or very much happy, so whatever it is. So all these communications can also be a source of your data, right? The next is chatbot and customer support logs, right? So interaction through automated systems or live chats. So nowadays you must be seeing, banks and other financial institutions and many others, they are using chatbots, right? So this is reducing the human intervention and trying to, use some kind of feature, some kind of technology to interact, so that people's most of the problems are corrected easily, right? So such kind of discussions which happens, interactions through these automated systems are also a source of data. The next is web and blog content. Now, web contents, blog contents, for example, the comments that you see, the engagements, how people are engaged, what do they discuss, and those user generated contents, right? All these contents that you see in the blogs and all are also a source of data. And finally, the marketing research reports, for example, the text from the white papers, the industry reports, or the focus group discussions, right? For example, there is a budget going to come. Now the finance minister has already prepared the budget, has spoken about the budget. That the market feels very happy or jittery about the budget. So what is the discussion regarding the budget? So, or how does the company feel about it? What kind of research reports are coming out, and what kind of things are written in these reports? So can I use this as a source of data? Yes, this is a fundamentally a very important source of data, in fact. So all these are given here, if you can see. So in a pictorial representation, that these are the different kinds of sources of data that you can use. Now in marketing, for example, since we are talking about marketing, so what are the major ways we are using text data? So as I said, first is sentiment analysis, right? The most important. So understanding the emotions of the customer, right, and their opinion about the products and services. Now for example, let's say analyzing reviews on Amazon to determine whether customers are satisfied or dissatisfied with the product. This is very, very basic, right? You can even go deeper than that, right? So are they satisfied or dissatisfied with the overall product, or are they dissatisfied or satisfied with only a feature of the product? That could be the price, product, distribution, service, whatever it is, right? Okay. The second thing is social media monitoring. Now, you see, to build a brand, it takes lot of money and time, right? So to maintain a brand is a very important task for any company. So tracking brand, track brand mentions and measure audience perception. So through social media monitoring, you can identify what is the perception of the audience regarding the brand, right? So using tools like, for example, Hootsuite or Brand Watch to analyze trending hashtags or mentions to gauge public opinion. So majorly we are talking about, so you are trying to understand what is the public's opinion about through the social media. You can see how the people are reacting and what is their opinion about the particular product or service, for example. The third is customer segmentation purpose. Now categories customers based on preferences, and behaviors. Example, analyzing text responses in surveys to identify distinct customer needs and preferences. So can I segment? So in marketing, segmentation is the most important thing, right? One of the most important things, right? So if you can segment the market, you can easily make better resource allocation. So that is why if text data can be analyzed and it will help them in segmenting the market, then nothing like it. Wonderful, right? The next is content personalization. So delivering personalized messages and recommendations. Example, you see, Netflix analyzes viewing history and user preferences. Then this is very, very, has become very much a part of our life. Now every day, suppose today you have gone to the website and you have googled, let's say for example, about some shoes or an airline ticket or a railway ticket, then you, or a bus ticket even, or any product or service, the next day or after some time you find that you are being given recommendations. Now how is it happening? Who is doing it, right? and this has become so important part of our life that we are getting personalized contents or personalized messages, right, and recommendations. So now Netflix, if you are a watcher of Netflix or Amazon or something, they would give you, look at your viewing history and recommend you, right, that a new, something that of your taste. For example, so you like humor based movies or documentaries or something, then there's a new one which has come and you can see that, right. Similarly, competitor analysis purpose. Now, understand the competitor's positioning and customer feedback. So, analyzing these reviews and discussion about competitors' products, on the social media is a very important element to understand how your competitor is performing and where are you in comparison to your competitors. So, these kind of important informations or this kind of information are very, very important in marketing, right. So, it is extremely important that we learn how text data can be not only collected, but they need to be cleaned and analyzed so that we can use this information for marketing our products or services. And not only in marketing, because I am teaching marketing, just forget for some time, you can use it everywhere in all fields today, right. So but since we are talking about marketing research, we are more focusing on marketing or management. Okay. Some of the other advantages are also, for example, as we said, these applications is like the voice of the customers program. Now, understanding, capturing, analyzing customer feedbacks to improve product and services. Now, example, mining survey responses to identify common themes or concerns, right, raised by the customers. So, voice of customer, if you have studied about house of quality or quality functional deployment, you can watch, Google it also, you can see that voice of customer is what does the customer want. So, this information you can get it, right. Predictive analysis, now identifying emerging trends and consumer demands. So, for example, let us say analyzing social media conversations to predict the trending topics, right, or product interest. For example, when I want to give a research topic to my students, or when I get my research scholar, so what kind of research topics should they select? How do they select the research topics? So here what we do is we do some kind of social media analysis, so data analysis, and try to find out what are the most important topics or what are the most important areas of concern related to marketing and management that the student can choose as a topic of research, right. Similarly, chatbot improvement, as we have already said, training the chatbots for better customer interaction. So, once for example, you have developed a chatbot, that is not enough. So, you have to continuously train the chatbot so that it can work more efficiently and collect better data, right. So, this is an important also part of the application. Then finally, content creation. So, after all this, text analysis can also be used to identify popular topics for blog posts or for ad campaigns. So, it can help you in content creation, because content creation is a very, very important topic. So, what does the customer like to hear or like to see? So, if you can create a very positive content, automatically the customer would be interested for your product or service, right. And the last thing is search engine optimization. So, end of the day, you want to be trending in Google, for example, right. So, identify relevant keywords and optimize website content. So, for example, analyzing search queries and web traffic data to improve rankings on Google. So, how you can be at the top of the search SEO, search engine optimization, that also is a very important task, right. So, all this you can see here in this pictorial representation, and you can understand that in management and marketing, text data has a lot of application. Okay. So, now in overall business, if you see, if I want to group it and say, so four things I would say in use of text analysis in business. So, one is unstructured data insights, right, and improved decision making. So, when I say unstructured data insights, means I say extracting valuable information from vast amount of text data, transforming unorganized content into actionable intelligence, right. So, getting vast amount of text data and transforming these unorganized content into some meaningful ones, right. So, and then further it helps in improving decision making. So, enables data driven strategies based on customer feedback, so leading to more informed business choice. So, this will obviously this all these things are connected to finally improved decision making, right? Task automation. Now this, when you use text analysis, it all automatically, when the task is automated, it frees up your employees for more strategic work by automating routine text processing tasks. So some routine mundane tasks which you are asking your employees to do, now it can be done through a machine. So now your employees can be free to do some better, more creative work, right? And the last is competitive advantage, which is providing deeper understanding of market trends and customer needs, and keeping the organization ahead of competition. So all these are the basic importance of text analysis in business. And if you have understood the whole meaning of the of the purpose of this text analysis, then you would appreciate that you are surrounded by data throughout, everywhere you are bombarded by data. But if you can't extract any meaning out of it, it has no then use to you, it's of no use to you or the business. So here our objective is to understand how to get this data, that we will learn as we move ahead. In the further course we will learn that how do I collect this data. Biggest challenge, right? Earlier I didn't know. So how do I collect this data? So first we will learn about how to collect this data. Once I have collected the data, then what? Now how do I clean the data? Only collecting the raw data has lot of noise and errors, so is of no value. So how to clean it? So the same thing that you are doing in quantitative analysis, here also we are going to do that. Once you have cleaned the data, then how do I analyze the data? And then what kind of analysis and what kind of interpretations can I draw? So all this is what we are going to learn in this text analysis, and I think this will be extremely interesting and useful for you, because it has been very useful for me, and I think I have gained a lot of knowledge, and that is why I want to pass it through as much as possible with my limited capacity. So I think it will be of great use to you. So I hope to meet you in the next class. So till then, take care. Thank you very much.